Good day, Sir Janus. My name is John Ray Benonsol, the leader of the Group 6. We are going to present our work in the lab exam. Greetings. My name is John Ray Benonsol and I'm going to present the product.js, the class that we made in order to achieve the object-oriented programming concept in the JavaScript. So let's do it. So we do a class product with the attributes of private name, private price, and the private quantity. So with that, we do the constructor with the parameter of the name, the price, and the quantity. In order to achieve that, the user input is equal to the values that will enable in this class. We use the this that private name is equal to name, this that price is equal to price, and this that private quantity is equal to quantity. So with that, we do some method to in order to access in other JavaScript file, which is our script file, the script.js. We do the get name. Since our attributes are private, we need to do some methods in order to access that. So with that, we do get name returning this that name. Meaning, if we do or we access the get name, it will return the name of the inserted values. And next, the get price. It will return the private price of the code or the attribute. And next, we do also the get quantity, returning this that private quantity. So further that, we do that because in our JavaScript, in the script.js, in rendering the table, we need to access that using the dollar sign and curly braces, product dot name, product dot price, and product dot quantity. In addition, we also do the calculate total value. How to calculate the total value? By multiplying the product price and the product quantity together, and it will return a value that the price and the quantity has multiplied. So with that, the product.js is done. In addition, the product.js symbolizes or make a crucial role in order to push the value through the constructor upon the script.js. It means like it's a storage for us to enable that we can access the arrays or the value in the arrays using this constructor. And that's it for the product.js. Thank you and wait for the next presenter.
Greetings, Sir Janus and everyone. For my part to explain is to submit forms or the button itself. The three variables here is just taking users input the name, price, quantity. And then if statement just checks if it's number or not. If it's not a number, it just returns block. So is non-price and then or is non-quantity. Then alerts the user if it's not a number. Price quantity must be a number. And then the product container that push new product name price quantity. Here it just puts the what users store into the array. Before that, it just puts it in a class and then puts it in a array. And then console.log just alerts the developer or product container just prints out the whole list and then alerts the user's product successfully added in the list, then removes the user input. the one with the function name remove user info. It just clears out the whole form. Then display table and re-renders the whole table or displays the data that's been added. That's all.
Hi everyone, Dangal greetings. My name is Machay de Mesa, and in this video, I'm going to explain on how ascending and descending sorting works in our product inventory management system. Normally, sorting letters or strings is not directly possible in programming language, but JavaScript is kind of different because in JavaScript, letters or character has a what we call Unicode or lexicographical order. So basically, those are numeric Unicode value of each letter. If we want to ascend or disascend the letters, then we will use those Unicode to do that. So let's have an example. In this system, we have A, which is the Unicode is 97, D, the Unicode is 100, C, the Unicode is 99, and B, the Unicode is 98. And we want to ascend them meaning smallest to largest. So let's compare the first value. A is less than 100. Yes. No swap. Then let's compare D and C. D has a Unicode of 100 and C has a Unicode of 99. Is 100 greater than 19, D is greater than C, swap, we will a we will have a C and D because the D and C swap. Now let's compare the D. Is D Unicode 100 is greater than B Unicode 98? The answer is yes, then swap. Now let's compare again. Is A Unicode 97 greater than C Unicode 97? No. Let let's try again. Is C Unicode 99 is greater than 98? C B 98. So yes, swap. Then we will have A B C and D. Then let's have lastly sorting. Is A Unicode 97 is less than 98? No, no swap. Is B 98 Unicode less than 99? No swap. Then there is it. It's already ascend. Now let's do the descending. So we will have the same value, the A, D, C, and B. So let's compare the A and D. Is A 97 greater than 100? True. Swap. Then we will having D, A, C, and B. Then let's try again. Is A 97 Unicode is greater than C 99? The answer is yes. Yes. Then we will have a D, C, A, and B. Then let's try again. Then A Unicode 97 is greater than B 98 Unicode. The answer is yes. Then we will have a D, C, and B and A. Then it's already sorted.
Dangal greetings, I'm Donovan of the tutorial and I'm going to explain the JavaScript display table function. So this function is called display table and its purpose is to dynamically show the list of products inside the HTML table using jQuery DOM manipulation or DOM manipulation. First, the function selects the table body using jQuery by targeting the element with the ID table body and stores it in the variable tbody. This const tbody equals $, hashtag table body. So this line is important because it identifies where the product data will be inserted in the table, inside the table. So next, the code clears any existing rows inside the table body using the tbody.html open close parentheses with the empty double quoted sign. So this line of code ensures that whenever the table is refreshed or updated, the old rows are removed first to avoid duplicate entries. In other words, the table will always show the latest data from the product container. After clearing the table, the program loops through the product container array. So using the jQuery each method, $sign that each open parenthesis product container comma function open parenthesis index comma item then close parenthesis. So inside this loop, index represents the position of the product in the array, and the item represents the actual product object stored inside the array. So inside this loop, the function dynamically creates a table row and appends it to the table body, which is in this line of code. It says that tbody.append and open close parentheses. So in every row displays the information retrieved from the product class methods. So these methods access the product's private data. So this wherein comes the get name open close parentheses returns the product name, and then the get price, which returns the product price, and then get quantity, which returns the quantity of the product, and lastly the calculate total value. So this computes the total value by multiplying the price and quantity. So finally, the last column contains a remove button. So button class equals to button remove data minus index equals to $sign curly brackets index and then remove button. So this button allows the user to delete a specific product. The data index attribute stores the index of the product in the array so that when the button is clicked, the program knows which product should be removed from the inventory. Overall, the display table function dynamically rebuilds the product inventory table by iterating through the product container array and inserting rows into the HTML table using jQuery. This ensures that every time the data changes, the table is updated to reflect the current list of products.
Now, greetings po, Sir Janus. I'm Krishna Griselaga and now I'm going to be explaining my part in our lab exam. Now, this code manages from input clearing and product deletion in a simple inventory system. First, the function remove user input is responsible for clearing all input fields. It selects the product name, product price, and the product quantity fields using their name attributes. Then it sets each value to an empty string. This helps reset the form after adding or editing a product. Next, the code listens for a click event on any button with the class btn remove. It uses $sign double opening close parentheses, no double quote, document.on to handle dynamically created buttons. When a user clicks the delete button, the system retrieves the index of the selected product using data opening close parentheses double quotes index. This index identifies which product to remove from the list. After that, the delete product function is called. This function removes the selected product from the product container array using splice. The splice method takes the index and removes one item from the position. Once the product is removed, the display table function runs to refresh the table. This ensures the updated product list appears on the screen immediately. Finally, an alert message appears to inform the user that the product was successfully deleted. Overall, this code ensures that the user can easily remove products and keep the display data updated in real time.
3, 2, 1, action. So with that, we're going to demonstrate the product inventory management system, our work. So for the test case number 1, we need to do the mouse, to insert the mouse. The product price for it is the 500 and the product quantity is the 2, and we need to submit that or add that. Also, we need to use the other test case, the keyboard, and its price 1,200, and the quantity 1, we need to add that, so it will added. And 3, the test case number 3 is the monitor. So the monitor and its product price is 8,000, and also the product quantity is 3. So we need to add that. So the test case number 4, we need to sort that ascending. So with that, sort ascending. So as you can see, the first will keyboard because of the alphabet.